Hey there, everyone. Happy Friday. Thanks so much for coming in tonight. Thank you, replay viewers, for watching. And thank you, YouTube viewers, for coming in as well. YouTube viewers, if you'd like to watch live, you can join me on Periscope. I'm Penguin and Fish in Periscope. Just download the app to your phone and search for Penguin and Fish. I'm here every night at 9:30 p.m. Central. So guys, we are going to try and fuse our little coneflower to fabric, and I have to cut the square out of the fabric first, and I'm hoping that we can sew it down tonight too. And I'm actually hoping that we can do all that and maybe start sewing the little squirrel down too. We haven't finished him yet either. All right, guys, I'm gonna flip you around and we will get going. Hey there. Thanks so much for coming in tonight. Happy Friday. Again, we are working on the coneflower. Here's the cone. Here's the flower. So this is block 52 of the Splendid Sampler. You can find out more info at thesplendidsampler.com. We get new mystery quilt blocks every Thursday and Sunday. So we got this yesterday, and it's a nice simple block that we can cruise through and get done fast, which is great because I'm currently, I think, 12 behind. So I'd like to start cranking some of those old patterns out. So all right, I'm gonna flip you around and we'll get going. If you're new here, my name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery patterns and kits. I'm the author of Sew and Stitch Embroidery and a fabric designer, and I'm here every night getting crafty with you guys at 9:30 p.m. Central. And we've been working for the past, since February actually, we've been working through the Splendid Sampler quilt along. And again, you can go to thesplendidsampler.com to find out more info. The blocks are all completely free right now, so feel free to jump in and join us. All right, I'm going to flip you around. Okay, I got this all set up to iron right away. So I'm just going to get these out of the way, because first we actually have to cut our little background fabric here. So I'm going to just scooch these out. I don't want these near the heat at all, because they all have the fusible on the back already, and I don't want to accidentally get them fused to anything. So I'm going to just press this quick just to start out. The background fabric's going to be this really cute little kitty fabric. I think this fabric is just starting to ship to stores. I think it's by Sharon Holland Designs through Art Gallery Fabric. Isn't it cute though? I just love these little kitties. Oops. Wow, sorry. I just punched you guys a little bit. All right, to the cutting board. Okay, so it says in the instructions to cut, let's go this way, to cut a 7-inch by 7-inch square. Ultimately, we're going to cut it down to 6.5 inches, but it's good to have it 7 inches because when we do all our sewing on top, it might pull everything in a little bit. So we'll cut it, I think we'll cut it right before we try and stuff the cone. So we talked about doing this style of applique. I'm going to just stitch it down all along the edge, just with a normal, just straight machine stitch, just keeping it easy and simple. But we talked about cutting a hole in the back of our background fabric, fusing down the cone, and then trying to stuff it a little bit with some batting or with some stuffing. So I think we're going to give that a try, but I think I'll cut down to 6.5 inches before we try stuffing it, just because once we stuff it, it'll be awfully hard to put a flat ruler on top. So I'm hoping to get that far tonight. The more I think about this, the more time I think it's going to take. I'm not sure we'll get to the squirrel tonight, but if not, squirrel's getting done tomorrow for sure. All right, so I'm going to just cut a 7-inch square out of here. I kind of have this little scrap area over here. There's a few cuts there, so I have to watch out for that. All right, rotary cutter. Now I just want to make sure. You know what? I'll just cut a nice edge on here. I know I'm hoping to get that squirrel work done. because that all I have to do is the same thing. Wow, I'm really shifting this all over the place. You know what, I'm not gonna, that's fine that, I did shift this all over the place, so this cut might be a little bit wobbly. I don't have those little stickers on the bottom of this ruler. The rubber, that rubber stickers, which help it so I don't move around everywhere. The True Grips, I think that's what it's called. But we're going to cut this down anyway, so if I'm a little squirrely here, it's not going to matter all that much. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we got to go to there. But yeah, that first cut was kind of all over the place. All right, so let's rotate this. I don't know my mom's nice rotating table here. I'm going to rotate by hand. Oh, goodness. All right, so other half of the 7 inches. Got a puzzle on there. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I get freaked out with this ruler that I'm always going to cut it wrong, so I have to count it. I'm just, which is so silly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. That's good. Alright, gotta reach over the camera a little bit. Alright, that should do it. I can put that ruler away. The nice thing is that when we cut the 6-inch, I have my nice 6.5-inch ruler, so that's this, and this has the grippers and stuff on there, so I like this ruler. I hate when I have to break out that bigger one. Okay, so done with this fabric. I always love when I can get my fabric out of the way. Cute kitties. All right, so now I'm going to start placing my things, but I'm not gonna spend too much time on it yet because I do want to cut out, I need to cut out that little piece in the back of this fabric where I'm gonna stuff it. So I'm thinking of maybe using the actual pattern as a guide here. So I'm just gonna kind of place it. I'm probably not doing this the best way. I just want to estimate more than anything else. I'm still gonna kind of lay out my items a little bit. So this is gonna go about right there. So I'm just gonna pull that out. I don't know. That was a okay way of doing that, I suppose. I'm going to just lay these on top for now. I just, again, this isn't going to be my final placement. I just want to make sure that this guy is placed well enough. And if it is, then I'm going to just draw a little mark on it where I want to cut the hole out. I'm just going to cut like a little X. So what I'm doing is I just want to make sure that I have enough space. So let's actually get that 6.5-inch ruler out here again. So that's going to go down here. I think I'm probably going to ease it down this way a little bit. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna pull this up a hair. I think I like it right there. So all right, I'm gonna scooch these guys out of the way again. And actually, I think, I have my water-soluble marker. I think I'm going to just mark the 3 corners of this. I mean, it's kind of corners. So I want to cut a hole, not a hole, but like a little X right in the back here. So I'm just going to put a little X there. And just with one of my nice little sharp scissors is I think I'm going to just fold it on that X. Just put a little clip in there. Just a little one. Yeah, I only need, oh yeah, so I I guess I started an X, but you're right, I only need like a little slit. So I got this little Y going, I guess, instead. So there I go. That's all I'm gonna use to stuff it. I think that'll be just fine. So all right, now I think we're actually ready to start fusing stuff down. So I'm gonna bring the iron back, and I'm gonna put this right on top of the ironing board while we arrange, just so once we're arranged, I don't have to move the whole arrangement, because that would suck to set up the whole arrangement and then have it move on me. So let me get this framed all right for you guys. This is really kind of wrinkly yet. I think I might just run the iron over it one more time. I mean, I'll be running the iron over it once I fuse everything down too, so I don't probably really need to do that. Okay, so I'm gonna use this as a guide again. So with this, I just have to make sure that it goes over that seam allowance, but remember I'm doing 7 inches, so I actually have to do like a 1/2 inch seam allowance, make sure that it gets cut off by the 1/2 inch seam allowance. So let's just see what a 1/2 inch is. So, okay, so it's gotta be like about right here. So let me just start by kind of throwing that up in the direction it needs to be going. And again, we'll rearrange. This is where we could have fun and sort things out a little bit. So I'm putting this back onto those 3 points that I drew on here, because that's where I wanted the cone top. All right, and these go on top, so I'll have to tuck these under. I want the petals, I think I want the dark ones towards the back. I'm just gonna start plopping them down here and see how it goes. This is pretty. Put that guy in the middle, maybe. So yeah, so one of these has to overlap the stem just a hair. Maybe that's this one. Let's throw the rest of these up. So I also have to, oh yeah, it does, it's kind of like a jellyfish. I also have to make sure that I'm at least a 1/2 inch away from the edge to allow for the seam allowance. So once we got this all set up, I gotta make sure that that's correct. Let's get this guy up here. All right, I have some dark ones and some colorful ones. We'll put this one here, but then I think, I don't know, I kind of like it like that. Maybe let's try that one in the back, and this one in front, just because it's a little more colorful. There, we kind of have like these 3 going. I think that's kind of pretty. All right, I see a little space there. I want to make sure that that's filled in with a petal. And if you notice, if you weren't here last night, I did a couple more petals. I changed the shape of the petal a little bit last night, just because I really love coneflowers, and to me, always in my head, that this is the shape. I just made a little point, but since I made them a little skinnier and a little pointier, I had to add a couple more in. Did you see the one that looked like an alien spaceship? Yeah, I like that one. I thought that was actually pretty cute. Someone did like these, and then like a little alien head coming out of there, so it looked like some jellyfish spaceship kind of thing. All right, here's that one that I kind of messed up a little, that frayed a little, but I think I'm gonna just leave it. Kind of wondering if maybe this is too much together, but I kind of like it at the same time. I think I'm gonna leave it like this. I'm gonna stitch it just really subtly with this gray thread. I think you'll barely be able to see it. I'm just gonna stitch it down, but since it is lighter, I think we'll get just a hair of an outline of all these petals, and I think that'll be kind of pretty. It's gonna be really subtle with this this thread, but I think that's what we're gonna do. So, all right, let me just check to make sure that these are lined up again pretty well. I think we'll be fine. So I think we're ready to fuse. I don't know, I'm not sure I'm liking this guy yet. I think I can shush him up a little bit more. Maybe we pull this petal down a little lower over it. I don't know, I'm not digging that stem. It'd be kind of nicer if it was in between petals, maybe. Oh, maybe not. Let's just, how about like that? Let's get it so we can see the point of the petal, maybe. I don't know. I'm getting a little picky now, maybe. Playing around with it a little bit. Will you add embroidery or buttons? I'm not sure I'm going to add anything to it at all. I am going to try, yeah, you know what? Maybe you're right. I'm going to try turning it around. I am going to try stuffing this a little bit, but I think that might be all I try. So I just turned this guy around, and I think I kind of like it better. It's a little thinner at the top, so maybe that'll be nice. Okay, I'm going to try to just have a little sticking out like that. So I like that I can see the shape of that petal, but I think that means I gotta adjust all these a little bit. There, you know what? I think that's good enough. Look, I got a little bunny hiding in there. I'm excited about that. So, all right, I think this is it right here. I'm going to fuse. All right, so I got the iron here. I think I'm gonna start right here. This kind of tacks all of it down. So I'm just holding it here for a little while. I'll press this a lot more, I think, than I did with just the paper part of the fusible. But right now I just want to kind of make sure that it's tacked down. But we'll just hang out here with this fusible. So we did something a little different with the fusible this time than what we usually did too. We cut out the inside chunks of the paper. So it's really only being held on just by, you know, like 1/8 of an inch really, or maybe a little bit more than that, maybe almost 1/4 of an inch of fusible versus on the whole entire thing. So we did that for the cone part and the petals. So we'll see how that works. Never tried that before. But we'll just hang out here and press this guy for a little. But yeah, then I'm gonna sew it next, and after sewing it, we'll try stuffing it. I think that's the plan. So actually, you know, we probably don't have to press forever. I just need to check that they're glued down because we're gonna sew it right away, so it's not like it's gonna run away from us. I think we're probably good. Let's just, yeah, we're fine. It's hard to choose a favorite block, but I think, oh, this is your new favorite. Oh, fun. Yeah, you know what? I love purple coneflowers. And I wish I had like a little kind of brighter purple. You know, this should have almost maybe been like an orangey color too. But I'm trying to get my quilt back into that blue realm. It was looking not so blue anymore when I laid out all my blocks. All right, I'm gonna move this guy out of the way. But yeah, I'm kind of really liking this guy too. Pretty coneflower. Okay. Let's head to the machine. So again, all I'm going to do is just a normal straight stitch. My machine doesn't have any fancy stitches at all. It has some stitches meant for like sewing garments and that sort of thing, but we've tested a bunch and none of them are really all that pretty. Like none of them really work. Like I don't have like a really pretty blanket stitch or anything like that on my machine, so I'm just not going to even attempt that. And, you know, we'll do some hand embroidery again on some of these blocks, but I'm just trying to catch up a little bit, and that's why I've been doing the fused and just the sewing it down. But I'm just going to do like just like a 1/16 of an inch in or so, and just go around all this. And now that I'm thinking, though, last time I did this, I did it at my mom's house, and she had a really nice foot on her machine where she could see everything really well, and I don't have a foot like that for mine, so we'll see how well we do this tonight, I suppose. So all right, here's the machine, and I actually I have to thread it with the there's my other thread. Don't need that. You can go over here. I have to thread it quickly, so I think you guys can see that if I thread it. Just gonna scooch you back a hair. Okay, let's thread this guy. I think I have some thread in here from the other other thread that I had in here earlier. So let's take this out. We don't need that. And little scissors. Oh, you know what? I have, let's change the bobbin thread too. Do you not want a newer machine? Well, sure. Are you handing out new machines? I would take one. I don't know. I'm just really comfortable with this machine. I've been using it forever, and I don't know. It's fun to use my mom's machine every once in a while because she's got a fancier machine. But sometimes, you know, it's nice to sometimes just know that you can sew on something without all the frills. So I kind of like that. But I'm sure I wouldn't say no to a big old fancy machine. But yeah, no. I have a couple sewing machines, but none of them are big and fancy. Here's that pretty gray. We already have a nice bobbin of it already. I think this is the gray. It looks kind of light. Actually, this doesn't look like it at all. Maybe it is. It looks thicker. Is this the same thread? I don't think it is. Maybe I don't have a gray bobbin. That seems odd. Oh well, you know what? I think I'm gonna just use what was in there already then, because that's the same thickness. I bet you I put it. Oh, you know what? Ha ha ha! There it is. There we go. Back to here. Look, I put it in a place where I would remember it, and then I just didn't remember it. But good. I'm like, I thought I had a bunch of that gray. Hello, Sue. All right. Thread in this guy. Yeah, so I have my husband's, I think it was his great grandma's machine, and that's an old Singer, like one of those gorgeous old ones that's black, and that used to be a treadle. So hers, I think it's from like 1910 or something. It was a treadle, but back at that time, they were converting, a lot of people converted their treadles to electric. So a treadle, if you're not sure what that is, that's that whole foot pedal system where you just like keep pumping the foot, and it has like this rubber, what would you call that? Not a tube, but a rubber, you know, big loop. I don't know, a big rubber loop, and then you're pressing the pedal, which makes that loop go, and that makes the machine go. So that's what this machine was. But then it was converted to electric, so it's got this really old electric system in it. However, I do actually have an old Singer bass. Oh, belt, there you go. That is the word. Exactly, a belt. A rubber belt. But I do have a Singer bass that wasn't hers. It was, I just got it from an antique something or another. And someone converted it to a butcher block top, just like for like a cutting board, so they could use it as like a little table, not sewing related. So I would like to maybe go on Craigslist or something and find an old top, like an actual Singer top, and then take the butcher board off and then put that new Singer top on. And I would like to convert her machine back to a treadle. Oh, you have a Singer that was converted to electric. Yeah, I want to kind of convert it back to treadle. I have a sewing machine guy right near me, and I have a feeling that he could figure that out for me, how to get it back to a treadle. I think it's pretty dang easy, actually. It just seems like you just need that belt, and I think he could probably give me one of those. So I would like it to actually put it in my living room as just a treadle, and people could play with it. But I'd like to actually have like a basket of like little things to piece, so that if I'm watching TV or something, I could go sit in it and do the treadle. I just think that would be so cool. So I think in my head forever, I was thinking that, I'll have to figure out how to cut a big hole in this butcher block. But then it occurred to me that, like, last night, I think I was in the shower or something, where all good ideas happen. But I think in the shower, I was like, screw this butcher block. I'll just take the butcher block off. I can use that for something else, and all I have to find is the Singer table from somewhere. And I'm sure you could just use whatever, but you know, I'm not quite sure how that whole thing works. None of my machines, like I set all my machines on the countertop, so I don't even know how they sit in those holes very, very well. So I got some learning to do on that. All right, let's see. What is the best way to do this? You'd like to have a treadle machine. Oh, an electric featherweight. Oof, pretty. Yeah, it'd be like exercise and sewing. I just think it'd be so relaxing and just a cool thing to have right by the, you know, in the living room. So I need to come up with a plan on what order to sew this in. I think I might do all the leaves that are in front. So do this leaf and then jump, do this leaf and then jump and then go to this leaf and then go to all the leaves, other leaves. So I'll have a bunch of jumps in, but I think that'll be okay. I'll just have to trim them all. So I think that's the plan. I'm gonna start on this side. All right, so this is where I cannot really see anything compared to my mom's machine. So we'll just see how this works. You have your old Singer in a front window. Oh, where you can sew when the power goes out. That is the cutest. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. That's so cool. That didn't even occur to me. I can totally sew when the power's out. Aw, that's gonna be so sweet. So I'm just kind of going around the edge here. You know, the other thing is that I don't have that nice needle down feature that my mom's does. So see, like there's a whole pile of cool things that if I had a fancier machine I could do. Like that was really helpful. Oh, here, let me go down a little bit more so you guys can see. That was really helpful at my mom's house to have that needle down feature. And you know what? I could probably buy different feet for this. I just need to buy some better feet. Some see-through feet, at least, maybe, would be nice. I did check what came with the machine, and there wasn't anything. There was some zipper feet. Does the appliques feel softer with the webbing only on the edges? You know, at this point, it's a little hard to tell. I think maybe, but there's so many layers of stuff through here that it is kind of just a little hard to tell. All right, you know what? I think I better employ some back stitches in these. All right, I'm going to attempt to just jump to this next petal, and hopefully my machine won't yell at me for starting sewing without stitching. But okay, so there. I don't know if you guys can see. You know, honestly, it is really hard to tell on because there are so many layers here. You know, I think it did a little, like with the parts in the center, I think, yeah, even on the overlaps, they are a little gentler. They do feel a little bit more like fabric, but again, we have so many layers of petals here that it's not the easiest to tell. So I am kind of just going by feel a little bit because it's a little hard to see what I'm doing with this giant foot. But well, I can. There's a little bit of space in there that I can see. It's not completely closed off. All right, let's jump. You tested it. That's what it is. Oh, what is? I forgot what we're talking about already. All right. So I got 2 little leaves on there. Oh, the camera icons. I must have missed something. Oh, the camera icons that pop up on the side here. That happens if someone's taking a screen grab. Then it shows a little camera that went up. All right, I think I might have gone over the edge on that one. I could have done a satin stitch around all of these, but I kind of like this. Do you think the Splendid Sampler is a good first quilt? You know what? If you don't mind it taking for a long while, like if you want the instant gratification of having a first quilt done, maybe it's not the best for that. But if you want to learn a ton, it's totally the right place to start. I know there's been several people that this is their first quilt, and they're learning a bunch. I mean, if you want like a full-on, you know, magic course where like no one knows that you quilt, and then all of a sudden you're like a master quilter by the end of the year, then totally. But I think a beginner could totally make it through. I mean, it's just going step by step. And the nice thing is that the Facebook group is so nice, and that people will answer any questions you have. And, you know, I'm hearing stuff too if you have any questions. So I definitely think it's a great place to learn. I mean, it makes me a little nervous saying that it's a good place for a first quilt, because I do actually think it would be a perfect place for a first quilt, but I'm not sure. I think you need the right mindset going in. I think this would actually be the best crash course in all things quilting, and it would be great for a beginner, and again, a lot of beginners are doing it. But just know that you're going to get into a whole pile of different techniques, which is awesome because you'll actually learn all those techniques really quickly. Yeah, do the easy ones first. I mean, you know, you could do one like this, or, you know, you need some special supplies for this. You need that webbing. You'll probably acquire some tools pretty quickly. Like you're gonna want a, oops, I'm stuck, there we go. You're gonna want like a cutting board and rulers and rotary cutters and stuff, but you know, some people are not even using that. And you know, some people aren't even using a machine. Some people are hand stitching the whole thing. So I mean, if you're willing to just jump into a project and you're like you love learning new things and you're really gung-ho about stuff, then it's totally worth it. But yeah, so you could also just pick out a few of the blocks that you like and take your time with those ones. Okay, I'm going to snip this quick because I'm going to stitch over it. So you don't have to do everything all at once. You could learn the thing that you want to learn before moving on. So in that sense, I think it would be fabulous. Like if you really want to, like if you look at all the blocks and you're like, wow, I really love those applique things. I want to learn how to do that. Or, you know, I want to learn how to piece a quilt. Then, you know, this is the place. Each block is a new chance to learn something. So from that sense, it would be perfect. And you would never feel... Yeah, exactly. Just like try one block that you really think is interesting. Oh, I keep getting stuck on that postcard. And then, you know, move on from there. And the great thing is that you don't have to make all these to make a quilt either. You could just find one that you like and that you were able to do and you enjoyed and do, you know, 12 of those, and then you got a quilt, you know? All right, I back-tack that, I think. Okay, so I do have to do the stem. I think I got all the petals now. Oh, no, I don't. I didn't do this one over here. Sheesh. Okay, glad I caught that. So I'm very basically stitching this on. It's nothing fancy at all. I kind of almost wish I did do a thicker thread, like that 12 weight Aurifil instead of this really skinny thing, but you know, it's kind of pretty being really subtle on this too, so I think we're gonna be fine. Alright, so I am approaching that cone. I think I'm going to just start the cone right away since I'm here. You know what, I think I'm more comfortable going this way. Yeah, I mean, this can really be as easy or as challenging as you want it to be. But actually, as a beginner, now would be a great time because after the Splendid Sampler is done, who knows how many people are still going to be participating in the Facebook group or anything like that. So now is like the perfect time to start and ask your questions, and like the group, the support group right now is the best that it's going to be. Alright, so there's that. Oh, and I gotta do the little stem, so let's just jump down to the stem, and then I'll snip all these. I think I got them all now. Yeah. Okay. They're a little wonky, but you know, that's kind of the fun of it. With the raw edge applique, you get that raw edge and that raw look. You think I'm gonna have enough scraps to start the first block? That's awesome. So you can use actually, you know, if you got old, like if you got like old men's button-up shirts and stuff, like you can cut up that, or old sheets or something. You can use those for scraps as well. Can you go back and read these comments? I can't during the scope, but if you guys needed to go see these comments again, they will be on the YouTube replay. So this is going to go up at Penguin and Fish Movies on YouTube, and you'll be able to see all the comments, and then you can fast forward and rewind it and all that. So if you feel like you missed something in the comments, then you can. All right, so we got that sewn on. All right, so here we are, guys, and I did jump all around here. Let me get in focus quick there. So now I just need to snip all these off, and then we'll try stuffing this up. It's a little wonky, but that's why it's fun. Yep, something to remember. Put it all I want. First book to be, oh yay, Be Brave Embroidery block. I gotta make another one of those. So I'm just snipping all those jumps that we did. Ooh, we're way out of focus. There we go. I just gotta find them all. And then I'll snip some of them off the back. But this is all we really needed to do to hold down these pieces of fabric. Didn't need to get crazy. That one is, yeah, so the Be Brave. Oh no, not the bee one from a couple nights ago, the paper piecing one. It was a bonus block. The Be Happy one, that's not mine. The English paper piecing one. But the bonus block that's embroidery that has a little bee that says Be Brave on it. It's not even a bonus block, it's a bonus pattern, but it's in the bonus project tab. That one's mine. Not the bead block from a couple days ago. If the underthread is messed up, I think the top needs to be rethreaded. Oh, is someone having trouble with the machine? All right, I have one more little bit here. Oh, you changed ear petals too? Yeah, I just, you know, for me, coneflowers have a really specific petal shape. So that's why I wanted to make them pointy. All right, I think, oh wait, I got a whole lot of slack on the back here. I'm gonna just snip some of those off. These don't have to be perfect, I'm just kind of getting the bigger loops out of my way. I think think that's fine. We'll just snip these in half. Sorry if I'm not like catching all your comments. I'll if you ask again or something, I'll see it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so here we are. I am going to, I think, oh wait, yeah, we wanted to try cutting this, we wanted to cut this down before stuffing it. I think that makes sense still. So let's cut this to the 6.5. Oh, let me just show you guys first. So here's all we did. I just did just a really simple, with normal weight thread, just tracing around the blocks. But I do kind of like, you know, this little line like here where you can get a little definition in the petals. I think that's kind of fun. You know, I definitely did not get fancy with this at all. But I think that's okay. I think, and this is what I'm going to do with the squirrel too, I think. Will it fray when it gets washed? It probably will. But that's kind of the style of this applique. So this is called raw edge applique. And it's because the raw edge is exposed. So like here, it's already fraying. It will continue to do that, but that's kind of the look of this style. It's fast. That's why I'm doing it, I guess. There's that, like I want to do more needle turn applique, but I have like 3 unfinished needle turn appliques in my unfinished blocks. So I'm going to finish all those needle turn appliques, and then I will consider doing new ones. So that's why I've just been doing kind of the raw edge applique. It's just speedy. All right, let's frame this guy up. So this is my 6.5 inch ruler. Alrighty. So all I need to really make sure is that, you know, I need 1/4 of an inch seam allowance around, so I can't overlap anything on 1/4 of an inch, except for I do want this bottom stem to overlap the 1/4 of an inch, so I gotta make sure that it is, and I think that's good right there. I think this will do just like that. A nap happened to you last night. I've been getting up really early lately, and so I actually had to take a nap today, and I don't usually do that. It was kind of weird. Okay. So, all right. So anyone who is just starting the Splendid Sampler, oh wait, did I do that right? Yeah, here. I almost cut the wrong side. But anyone who's starting the Splendid Sampler now, just a reminder, because it is a little confusing, what the unfinished and finished blocks means, because that's a term that we've been using a lot in the Splendid Sampler. And unfinished actually means our finished block here. Our completed block is our unfinished block. When the block is called finished, that means it's sewn into the quilt. So, all right, let me just say that again because I think I just made it more confusing. In a lot of these directions, it'll say an unfinished block and a finished block. The unfinished block is 6.5 inches. That's the size of my ruler here. And the finished block is 6 inches. So an unfinished block means this, not sewn in a quilt. So all of our blocks are unfinished blocks. So they're the 6.5 inches in the block. They're finished once it's sewn in the quilt. So when someone says an unfinished block size, they're meaning this, a completely finished block. See why it's a little confusing? It's just a little confusing, but that's the general quilting terms. So that's why it's being used. But if you're new, and actually if you're not new too, it's actually pretty confusing. But did that make sense? Hopefully that I just didn't confuse you more. I'm confusing myself saying it a little louder. But we do want all our blocks to end up being 6.5 inches. When they're in the quilt, they'll be 6 inches. All right, so there we are. Here is this block. All done. I think he's awfully cute. I'm going to grab this squirrel right away, and I think let's just get this started. I'm not sure we'll finish this tonight, but I think we can give it a go just to get started. So I don't have the yo-yo on there at all. This yo-yo was fun. I've never made a yo-yo before. I would make more of these. They're just so weird and silly. I kind of like them. So there's actually a whole pile of stuff to sew on here. And I think I might just start with this stem, just because it's, I don't know, I'm a little scared about that staying on. But we're going to do the jumping around like we did. Yeah, so 6.5. Oh, you're right, I didn't stuff it yet, so let's just put this aside. You know, maybe we'll just have to finish this block up tomorrow. Why don't we do that? So I'm going to stuff this still. We forgot to do that. Tomorrow, since it already is kind of getting late, we have a free day tomorrow because we got this one done sooner. So tomorrow, let's get my unfinished blocks out again. Tomorrow we'll completely finish squirrel. That will go quick. I mean, I've been jibber jabbering tonight, but the actual sewing of this went really quick. I'm thinking this will take about the same amount of time, just maybe a hair longer. There are a little bit more details, but I'm going to leave the same stuff in the machine. I'm going to do it exactly how I did this. No frills or anything. You'll see a little bit of outlines around the tree, which will help define it, which I think is cool. Is that true? If I cut them 6 by mistake, if I make all 6, won't that be okay? Yes, so if you do cut it to 6, it'll be okay. However, on blocks with like, points and stuff, let's see if I can find an example. You're gonna clip all the edges of your stuff. So I actually don't think I have a finished one. Okay, I can just show you with this though. I think we're gonna try and finish this one up tomorrow. So like, instead of it looking like this, it's gonna look like, yeah, points and edges will go away. So your block will actually be cut off here. So you'll be cutting off all your little tips and stuff. You know, see, so you won't have like perfect little points on all your blocks. But you gotta just weigh, is that really the end of the world? It's not really the end of the world, right? So it's up to you in the end. But yeah, so that will be the only other difference, is that you'll be clipping the edges of all your things. So when you do things though like this, just make sure that you've put all your things and like this, make sure that you've put everything in tight enough. Because, if I make this 6 inches, so now this is like a 6-inch block, I'm still going to lose 1/4 of an inch when I sew it all together, right? So then this is going to be right up against the edge. So just, if I knew I was doing this 6 inches, I probably would have I would have just moved this in and made the petals a little shorter. So just another thing to watch out for if you are actually doing this 6 inches. But all right, so tomorrow, we'll stuff this yet tonight, but tomorrow we will completely finish this block. I think that will be easy peasy. And, if we have time yet, maybe we try and crank this guy out yet, because we'll have the machine out here. All we have to do on this one is all the assembly here. But, oh, gosh, here's a tour of my unfinished blocks since I have this out. This is my new binder. I had to get a new binder for blocks 51 through 100, and I put all my unfinished ones in here, too. So we got the bee yet. The Flights of Fancy, which is 50. This is just that pieced one. That shouldn't be too hard. The Dresden, this is one of the needle turn ones, so I have to stitch all this on, and then I have these circles. Oh, is it the end of the world? So here's that bunny. He is completely in pieces. I do have the design drawn on, but this is a needle turn one. So in this case, you won't see any of the raw edges. It's just like really pretty needle turn, but that took forever. And, there's still a ton to do. Oh, so South, I have not even started this one. This is when I was on vacation. That's just the big English paper piecing. This I don't think will take long at all, actually. I just need a couple days to do it. Oh, balls in the air. Just got one segment done. I got 3 more of those to completely do. My dress is still just a bustier thing. Stitches in the garden. We ran out of floss here, so we were switching to the other color for the flower and the bird, and then we got to do the applique parts of it as well. Wow, remember this guy? Nature's Walk. So all I have to do is finish up the embroidery on here, but then there's like piecing to do on here yet too. Wishful Garden. I got 2 whole lines to do and a whole other row of French knots. Here's my little inchy hexagon club wreath. Not very far on that either. And that's it. So this is my bin of unfinished land world. But all right, let's try and stuff this little guy here. And you know what? I don't have anything to really stuff it with. Maybe oh, here, maybe I'll use this pencil. We'll use that. Okay, so I have some stuffing. This is just some, polyester fiber fill. I'm going to just grab a tiny little bit of it. I have a ton of this because I used to make a bunch of stuffed animals. And I still make stuffed animals from time to time, but I got a whole pile of embroidery, or not embroidery floss. I was going to say embroidery floss, but batting or stuffing. So we cut that little slit here, and I'm just going to kind of start stuffing it in here. So this, I've never done this before. It should give us a cute little stuffed effect look to our coneflower. Because remember, we didn't put the fusible like in the center. We just put it around the edge. So we'll put more in, but I just kind of want to peek at what it looks like. Yeah, so that'll give us just a little poofy little pillowy cone part of it. I don't think it's going to actually be very noticeable in my design here. I'm going to sneeze, I think. Excuse me. All right. But I think it'll be kind of fun when you, once it's a finished quilt and it's just got this little bit of poof. Oh, thank you. So sometimes I use just a chopstick for this, or oh, thanks. You could use a colored pencil, or I'm just using my little mechanical pencil here. Oh, it's poofy. I like it. All right, and you want to put it in. You want to just put it in little by little. If you try and put too much in all at once, it's gonna just be kind of a little globby. It's better to go little by little. This is fun. I've never done this before. I could see, could you imagine like a white on white quilt? Ooh, I would love to do this. Like a whole cloth white quilt with a bunch of fun stitching in it, and then putting some of this stuffing in it. It would just be a totally textural quilt. So this stuffing would give it. So I'm not gonna stitch this up or anything. I don't think it's not gonna get legs and crawl itself out of here. I don't think it's gonna be a problem. All right, I need some stuff down here yet. Yep, Trapunto. That's the style of this. But yeah, you guys should Google, if you haven't looked at it before, Google Trapunto. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right, but it's really kind of a beautiful, beautiful technique when it's done just traditionally, and it's just gorgeous. I forgot I was going to look it up before this scope and get some tips on this, but I think we got it figured out. This didn't seem like anything too scary. I made a white one. Oh, Trapunto pillow back in the day. Oh, how pretty. It might measure a little bit smaller, I'm thinking, but I figured, I can live with that a little bit. It's not so much that it's measuring smaller, it's just poofy. So, but I can kind of poof it up so that it's kind of flat on the back and poofier in the front, I think, a little bit. Just by molding it a little bit. I think once we get this sewn into a quilt, it's going to be just fine. I'm not going to worry about it too much. But there! It is kind of cute. So let's see if I can flatten it out a little bit. But there, it's just got this cute little pillowy effect on there. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I think it's cute. That was fun. So, all right, I think that's... I don't think I'm going to put any more in there. Because, yeah, if I put too much more in there, then it's going to be just a little too crazy. But yeah, so that was kind of fun. That was a good suggestion. I forget who suggested that here, but that was this little cone part is just perfect for that. Yeah, that was a nice extra touch. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna flip you around, and we will call it for tonight. And tomorrow we will get some other blocks done. I'm hoping to get those 2 blocks done because that'd be great to get 2 done, right? All right. Hey there, guys. So here is that block. You can kind of see the little pillowy effect of it. Aw, I just love it. Coneflowers are so fun. I love coneflowers. So there's my purple coneflower and a block done. This one's not going in the unfinished pile with all those other ones. You guys have to let me know tomorrow how many unfinished blocks you guys have. Mine are accumulating, but you know what? We're gonna finish them all, and it's gonna be okay. So, all right, I will see you tomorrow, guys. This will go up on Penguin and Fish Movies 13. Yeah, I think I have 12. I don't know if anyone was counting just then, but I think it was 12 last time I counted. And then we'll get a new one on Sunday as well. So this will go up on Penguin and Fish Movies. I don't remember if I said that whole thing. And I will see you guys tomorrow, Saturday night. Have a great weekend. Night all. See you later.